All right. Hey, now it's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM here with Reunited, my tag team partner in podcasting. Welcome back to the show, Steve Henning. Good to see you, Steve.
Oh, my God. It feels so good to be back.
I got to tell you, it's great to have you here. Yeah. We've got here in what I'm calling the Putrid Green Studio, although we were able to hang. I'm noticing now how crooked the backdrop is, but we're the ECW podcast, as I've always said. But I will say, for the first time in probably since August or whenever, we can have an intro again.
Yes.
Because the show does have a theme song that you wrote. So could we get one last time a live performance of the theme song?
For you and for old time's sake.
I would love to hear this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Town Square Media and 106.1 Kiss FM proudly bring to you your podcast champions of the world. He's the R to the O to the B. I'm his special guest host, Steve. If you love wrestling the most, we've got you covered from post to post.
That's right, Steve. It always charges me up. Thank you so much, and welcome back to the show. Glad to have you here.
Oh, I'm so glad to be back.
Yeah, I know it's not always easy for you to duck out and be a part of the show today. We are broadcasting live now, so thank you for always. I know you're watching live. Yes. I appreciate that, and it's great to have you back. You never gave up on watching wrestling, right? You've always been consistently, watching the shows.
Yep.
And so you're full of opinions too. Real quick, before we get into Raw,
do
you have a letter grade from Fastlane? My guest host yesterday, myself, and Jerry Valeri all gave the shows D+, which I'm sure you probably saw yesterday.
Yeah, I'm probably in that same neighborhood, probably a D, maybe a C-.
Okay.
But they definitely they took a lot of their progress and just kind of trashed it.
And I don't know, before we get started here, I will say my review of Raw is very positive.
Okay.
I thought it was a good show that gave us lots to talk about.
Yes.
I thought Raw was much better than the pay-per-view the night before. And I hate when that happens. The pay-per-view should be the more exciting show than the Raw after it. And I feel like almost every, with the exception of the split shows, or I guess not the split, the ones where they're combined.
Yeah. I
feel like a lot of times we can say the Raw after the pay-per-views are more exciting shows, and that's annoying to me.
Yes.
So that's the way I feel about that. One thing I wanted at the beginning of this show, or even before the show took the air, I wanted them to go full bore into this Jericho Kevin Owens feud.
Yeah, and they did that.
And they did, correct. And not only that, I mean, throughout the rest of this podcast, you're going to see the stuff we're talking about. WrestleMania really started to take shape like no other night, including the Royal Rumble. We have real direction as to where Raw is going at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's almost like WWE said, we apologize for Fastlane, here's WrestleMania.
You know what? It is kind of like that because a lot of the stuff that happened last night, whether you want to talk about Undertaker, whether you want to talk about Jericho, whether you want to talk about, there's a few things you could talk about, should have happened the night before, in my opinion. So we got things started with Jericho. That to me really gripped me and got me ready for the show. I'll be honest with you, a lot of times when I watch Raw, I'm Facebooking on my phone. I'm doing other stuff at the same time because it's a 3-hour commitment. It's a large portion of my night.
Yes.
The first one half of the show, I did nothing but watch the show. Yeah. Sat on the couch and watched the show because the first half I thought was spectacular.
Yes.
I was very happy with it.
Yeah, I can't believe how much they fit into 3 hours.
Yeah.
And normally I'm like, is the show over yet?
Correct. Yeah. And so I want to say kudos to that. They also jammed some great wrestling in there too.
Yes.
So one thing I have about the Chris Jericho Kevin Owens thing, it was very well done. I thought what they were going to do was, remember when Jericho challenged Owens to come into the ring?
Yes.
And Owens kind of balked for a second, and I thought he was going to turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, that's bad booking. Kevin Owens' character would not walk away.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens' character would run to the ring and start a fight with Jericho. That's what happened.
Yes.
Like that. That made me happy. Then Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe get involved. When Sami Zayn came out, it really reminded me of one of my notes here that steel chairs are awful foreign objects anymore.
Yeah.
Because when you used to use them 20 years ago, they were brutal to the head. Yeah. Now they just look so phony. It's a constant reminder of what they're not allowed to do. Yeah. What the PG generation has taken from us. And I get it. I get the concussion stuff. I get all of that. I just I miss maybe we should retire the steel chairs, or maybe let them loosen up a little bit. I don't know what you do, but the steel chairs don't work for me the way they used to.
Yeah, there's definitely a way to use them better, and they need to learn that.
It's just so weird when Sami Zayn comes out with the steel chair and he's using the side of it in the stomach to everybody. Like, it's just it takes me out of it a little bit.
Yeah, or spanking people on the rear end and getting the same
you know. So, I did think it was funny because the first match of the night was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens,
yes,
which you could argue is a rehash or a rematch, which is something I go on and on and on about. But that was one of the, like, on your last podcast with us, I think there was a big issue about you not liking one of their matches before. I thought it was so funny that when we get you to come back on the show, one of the matches we have to talk about again is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Did you have any thoughts about that?
I mean, I'm so ready for that to be over because Kevin Owens has so grown past that now, and I know they'll always have a connection. But yeah, I did think about, of course, the day Rob asked me to come back, we get Owens and Zayn and being the first match of the night.
Yeah, I thought it was just fine for what they were given. You know, a TV match with limited time. It wasn't as good as their pay-per-view matches. It did seem a little funny to have them beat each other up the way they did right after Kevin Owens called Sami Zayn his best friend earlier in the night. Yeah. I thought that was odd, and the person he calls his best friend is the person who comes out with a steel chair, waving it against him. I know he was saying he's happy to stab his best friend in the back and all that stuff, but did that not seem oddly timed to you?
I don't know, because he made mention that, you know, because he did that for Jericho's benefit to prove Jericho's not his friend. And he said, you know, he's my best friend, I'll stab him in the back, and you're nothing. So that kind of went by the wayside with me.
Yeah, I guess just to me, if I know he added in the part brilliantly that I'll stab him in the back, but still, right after he called him your best friend to come out with the steel chair, just seemed odd to me. Yeah. So that's what I took from that. I'm curious as to whether I'm on an island here, but they've got this promo. I started seeing it Sunday on the pay-per-view. I haven't seen it before that, although maybe it's existed and I haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. It's like a WrestleMania ride for WrestleMania. It's like a roller coaster ride, rather, for WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, what's their tagline? Like it's a thrill ride?
Yeah, something like that. Something about that I really like that.
Yeah.
It kind of gets me charged up because you see like AJ Styles, all the stars are coming to the screen. Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Whoever did that, I say kudos.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine last night during the show, and I was like, it would be interesting if some of the people came to the ring in roller coaster carts.
Well, Braun Strowman, Mark Henry, Big E Langston, all the people. Some people can get roller coaster rides to the ring. It'd be the next evolution of the little ring cart for WrestleMania 3. That's funny. So I like that. Let's see. Oh, some lines of the night. Although it's starting to become crowbarred in, I still mark out like a little girl when Austin Aries refers to the package. Yeah. Last night the quote was, "It's not a good package. It's not a bad package. It's the package. My package. Take a look." And then he comes out of the package saying, "The most talked about thing at Fastlane was my beautiful package." Yeah. So something about that. Like I said, it's stupid. It's becoming old hat at this point. I don't know how many weeks he's going to be able to use this for because it seems like he's ready for a return. By the way, so we'll get to that in a second because I want to talk about the Cruiserweight match last night. Yes. Neville and Swan. Yeah. Did you get the same positive vibe from that I did? I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, they had a tag match at Fastlane in the pre-show that killed it. And then the title match at Fastlane killed it. And then last night they killed it again. The
title match at Fastlane on Sunday, in my opinion, already a contender for match of the year. I mean, I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was
match of the night. Yeah.
A real thing of beauty. Match of the night for sure. And then last night, Neville has clearly back-to-back matches of the night. Yes. In my opinion. Fantastic job they did. They got a lot of time. And matches like that will make me disregard the island that the Cruiserweights are on because I feel like they've been struggling. You gave us 2 perfect matches back-to-back. So I wanted to congratulate them. And then, of course, they actually take it somewhere. I do feel like the Cruiserweight division has been lacking storylines. Mm-hmm. We kind of get one with Austin Aries and Neville. Yeah. I'm wondering if that's a WrestleMania match. It seems like it probably will be.
Yeah, that's what it seems like they're setting up.
Thought that was well done. Yes. Thought it was very organic too because it was almost like I almost wonder if they had to kind of change their game plan because the crowd was already chanting for Austin Aries even as an interviewer. Yeah. And then they were able to kind of play off that into the heat they were trying to get between the two of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know that you could have predicted the reaction that Austin Aries got last night. I think it's got it, but whatever. And I'm noticing now, I think our post, I don't know why the banner is backwards, it looks like to me, but
it may not be on the playback, but
who knows? I'm confused. I don't know what got it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's happening. But I thought that was a great way to kind of introduce Austin Aries as a character to the Raw audience last night.
Yeah, I hope he's not stuck on that 205 island because he is such a cool talent. He's one of the few internet darlings that I've actually followed and really like his style.
He had I used to watch him in TNA, and I never thought he was bad, but I never thought he was great.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean he's not great. It just means I haven't been exposed to that greatness yet.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that does happen because I enjoyed him on commentary. A lot of people I respect, like you and Mike, all have good things to say about him. So, yeah, I really want him to take off. And it seems like they've got him in the right spot to do that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So there was that. Yeah, I made the note that the wrestling's been on point tonight. You had the Sami Zayn match, you had the Neville match. The first half of Raw, an A+ in my opinion. I'm like, all right, do I get a chance to Facebook now? And like Goldberg's coming up next. I'm like, Jesus, give me a sec. I almost give me something I don't want for a second, so I can breathe for a minute.
Yeah.
Goldberg comes out, and while I'm not a big Goldberg fan, I'm not a fan of him having the title. They brought out Brock.
Yep.
I mean, they brought out everybody last night.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to everything, but they had Goldberg, they had Brock, they had Undertaker, they had Triple H via satellite, all on one show.
Yeah.
You had Jericho back, you had Owens. I mean, they had everybody they needed last night. They brought out all the big guns.
Yeah, they're definitely full bore for WrestleMania now.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I thought that, to both their credits, is because they kind of get, especially Goldberg, kind of gets the credit for the notion of being a goober and screwing stuff up all the time.
Yeah.
Fair to say?
Yeah, oh yeah.
His F5 was beautiful.
Yeah.
The F5 was picture perfect.
Yeah, Goldberg almost looked startled because he even held onto the belt.
Yeah, but that almost felt real to me. Like he was really kind of scared for a second. I was going to mention that too. I didn't know how to bring it up, but he was just oddly holding onto the belt for what seemed like too long. But that kind of added to the sloppiness, made it feel real, and also remind you, this is Goldberg we're talking about. You're going to get weird stuff every time.
He's all like, oh, dear Lord, I have to take a bump.
Yeah, so exactly. So that was one thing I made a note about with Goldberg. But I thought that the segment was positive. I can't say anything bad about it, in my opinion. Then, of course, that's when things started to go downhill a little bit. I have no problem with Enzo and Cass. I have a problem with rematches.
Yes.
And it's a direct rematch from the night before.
Yeah.
It is Enzo and Cass fighting for the tag titles against Gallows and Anderson. We just saw this 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this has kind of been my thing. I don't shut up about the rematches. Do you have thoughts on this? Does it bother you?
I'm completely in your camp, Rob. You knew this before I left last year. We talked about the brand split. We didn't want it. This is exactly why we don't want it. There's not enough people. I mean, you either have to get more people on the main brands, or you got to rejoin somehow. Yeah,
or just like, even if you would just like let there be the tag division on one show and the women on one show and the cruiserweights on one show. Like there's ways you can do it better than we are, but I still am opposed to the brand split. It sounds like you are as well.
Yes, very much so.
For reasons like this. And like I said, I'm sounding like a broken record. I'm not going to harp on that. The fact that it was only one direct rematch for the night before actually almost makes me happy. Rick Rude announced officially for the Hall of Fame. He's been on the top of many people's wish lists. When you look at the class we have so far, announced names confirmed are Kurt Angle, now Rick Rude, Beth Phoenix, Rock and Roll Express, Diamond Dallas Page. Oh my God, this Hall of Fame class.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this one?
Oh, I mean, they're knocking it out of the park. I mean, I can think of a couple tag teams I'd rather see in there. The Rock and Roll Express definitely deserve their spot.
I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, they were like, it's kind of like the same thing I said about Austin Aries. A lot of people I respect love the Rock and Roll Express. I have seen very few of their matches. I hate to say it. The ones I have seen are fantastic. Yeah. I know they're tag team specialists, and they actually focus on the art of tag team wrestling as opposed to just being two good wrestlers together. Yeah. There is a different art when it comes to tagging. And they really got that. They were the innovators of that. But yeah, I agree. They're not my #1 favorite.
As far as the Hall of Fame, I'm waiting to see if the celebrity edition is going to be the blemish on this class.
But you know what? Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because assuming they do induct a celebrity, you can always count on it, because there's so few out there that are actually credible choices. You can almost count on that to be a turd.
Yes.
And they almost say it's in the turd wing. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, so if we're going to have to put a turd in, at least it's in the turd wing.
Yeah.
My #1 choice for celebrities out there is still Cyndi Lauper. Do you have one?
She definitely, I would say she definitely deserves to go before anybody else.
I don't know that she wants to, but I adore her. I think she was very crucial to the wrestling explosion in '85.
Oh yeah.
The Rock and Wrestling thing was she was the Rock in Rock and Wrestling. Yeah. I mean, you can say MTV. Cyndi Lauper was the face of MTV's involvement in wrestling at the time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So she's a legit choice to me. Everything on the show last night had some sort of purpose or relation to WrestleMania, which was really good writing, especially on a 3-hour show. Following one that had awful writing the night before, it was nice to see they're dedicated now to building WrestleMania as we're now 4 weeks out. Can you explain to me where the heat between Mick Foley and Stephanie came from? Because it's confusing to me. I'm not saying that there wasn't a reason. I'm saying I don't remember. And what's confusing me further is, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Stephanie put Mick Foley in this position in the first place?
Yeah.
Second of all, couldn't she fire him if she hates him so much anyway? Where did this come from, and why is it bothering me?
I think they're trying to slow burn this, and I don't know what for. It's not like they're going to be in a match together.
I mean, are they leading to a Mania match? Like, where is this heat coming from?
I don't know. I don't know if Mick Foley can still go, and I mean, he's not going to wrestle a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it started like with maybe Survivor Series when he started making matches and Raw would lose, and it was a competition. As far as now, I think it's just she's a heel and he's a face.
I don't know. It's not working for me.
Yeah.
That it just seems so artificial to me.
Yeah.
Did you see the phone I was talking about from Sunday? I thought that phone was so funny in Mick Foley's office.
Oh yeah.
At the pay-per-view on Sunday. It's just this room dedicated to a phone. It was so odd.
Yes.
I just loved that. So there was that. There was a promo for Emma.
Yep. That's oddly enough, that's my line of the night, and for all the wrong reasons.
Go ahead.
Emma coming soon.
I wonder if I honestly hope they should even make it the gimmick. Make us wait 17 more weeks for Emma, you know, because all I really want from her are the pictures on the video montages anyway.
Yeah.
I don't need to see her wrestle. I don't need to see this dumb stuff or whatever it is.
From what I hear, the remodel didn't go as planned because she couldn't play the character they wanted her to. So they're sending her back to Emma. So you probably won't get those pictures anymore either.
Does WWE know there's not a difference between Emmalina and Emma? Are they aware that there's no difference to us? So there's that.
Yeah.
And then I have nothing else before the main event segment.
Yeah, well, I'm ready for that.
Okay, so I'm very curious as to your thoughts on this, because this involves Roman Reigns, which is a guy I love that you've been defending and are a fan of.
Yes.
I know you're a fan of Undertaker. You're a bigger fan of both those guys than I am.
I'm not so much of Undertaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to start by saying, let me give my thoughts, and then I'll go to you.
All right.
So I thought that it was a big mistake to have Strowman cower to Undertaker. This is coming off of an important loss last night, a clean loss to Roman Reigns. And then Undertaker comes out, and I will be honest with you, I got really excited because for the Undertaker's walk to the ring, I thought we were going with Undertaker and Strowman, which actually makes an awful lot of sense to me.
I can definitely see where they can put it there. Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, oh my God, everyone's been wrong. It's not going to be Undertaker and Roman. It's going to be Undertaker and Strowman, and I'm totally on board with this.
So you're more excited about everybody being wrong opposed to the storyline.
Well, and I wanted to see, I'd rather see Undertaker and Strowman, a face and a heel, and someone who could use the rub, as opposed to Undertaker and Roman.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is perfect. This is great. And then they do the worst possible thing. he doesn't just leave the ring. They focus on him walking out, leaving through the audience.
Yeah.
Too much of a sissy to stay in the ring with Undertaker.
Yeah, a complete 180 from his character.
You're killing him.
Yeah.
And you're trying to.
Well, they killed him the night before too, so this is just the second blow.
Yeah, but this was, in my opinion, more devastating than the loss.
Yeah.
So this was a 1-2 punch, just really giving the middle finger to Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
So then Undertaker staying in the ring, awkwardly, I guess, because there's no reason for it anymore. And then Roman's music plays. And you get what I feel is the definition of Roman Reigns. You get this expressionless walk to the ring, this slow, stoic pace. He gets into the ring. His expression doesn't change. They do nothing. The crowd's eating Roman Reigns apart, which I guess is to be expected when he's in the ring with The Undertaker in Chicago, but okay. And we have what we have. And then Undertaker says no words, just looks to the WrestleMania sign.
Well, that's a common Undertaker staple, is just looking at
which
the sign.
I hate.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any real sense as to why they explain nothing. It's just like Undertaker's thing. Like, to me, the laziest way you can do Undertaker is like remember the time, I'm going to take you back a few years. I believe it was Triple H and Undertaker 1. Mm-hmm. It might not have been the first one, but where just one of them comes out. I forget which one came first. And then that person's standing in the ring out of nowhere. And then the other one's music plays. The other one walks to the ring. They say nothing. They just look at the WrestleMania sign.
Yeah.
To me, that is the definition of lazy booking.
Yeah.
It's just the two part-timers. They need no reason to fight. Just they're who they are, and they're going to fight. This is as bad as that to me. Yeah. So I'm really curious. I hated the way the show ended, but I know you're a fan of Roman Reigns. You've been talking about this match for a long time. What did you think about the execution last night?
Oh, the execution was poor.
Okay.
I love Roman Reigns, but as I've said, I don't love what they're doing with Roman Reigns.
Okay.
The quick rehash. Fastlane, I think, should have ended. They are both strong men. I think it should have ended in a no contest. They should have beat each other until they were exhausted, and that saves both guys. Then last night, I completely agree with you. Strowman cowering was a huge blow to this guy who's barking competition. Here's the biggest competition of all in WWE mind. Yeah. And he walks off. And I know Roman Reigns is going to – this is Undertaker WrestleMania writing. Nobody cares about the story. They want to see Undertaker in WrestleMania.
See, I do, I guess. And
I do too.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like remember when, so it kind of started that way with CM Punk and Undertaker, and then, Paul Bearer died, and Punk did the stuff with his urn and dropped the ashes, and, they made something happen that made you want to see them fight. This something like that needs to happen for me.
It won't happen with Undertaker. Undertaker,
you're probably right.
Undertaker WrestleMania writing. He shows up, picks his partner or his opponent, thank you, and then he wrestles at WrestleMania. Last year, Shane McMahon had something over Vince. Undertaker, no story. You know how upset we both were.
Oh, man, that was the worst.
Yeah, and
I'm getting pissed right now.
Year before that, it was Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
Bray Wyatt did all the promos. No Undertaker. He shows up, he wrestles.
Loses.
Loses. But this is Undertaker WrestleMania writing. Nobody cares about the story. They care about WrestleMania, Undertaker. And I'm not saying me, because that's why I'm not a fan. Because he just shows up and he takes on somebody, and that's big bucks.
This is lazy, though, right?
Yeah,
it's lazy.
But, the last 3 years, as Undertaker gets older, this is the writing. It's like, we're going to pick an opponent, and he's going to sell your match for you. You show up and do what you do, and then leave. So,
you pitched the idea of, Roman eliminated Undertaker in the Royal Rumble. That could be why Undertaker's mad. And I even thought that, that was something they could do, but is also lazy. This is even lazier than that, in my opinion. And you kicked Strowman at the same time. That wasn't even necessary.
No.
So the first half of the Raw, I give an A to. The last half really left me with a bad taste in my mouth. So, you can't win them all, right, Steve?
Yeah, definitely.
So anything else you want to mention from last night's Raw? At least we had stuff to talk about.
Oh, yeah, we had plenty to talk about.
Overall, I enjoyed the show. Yeah. That ending, though, really really brought my
they're
blood to a
hurting a lot of
boil.
their characters right now.
So
Strowman's the main one.
And WrestleMania really being built around those part-time guys that are not there all the time. You know, it's being built around the Goldbergs, the Lesnars, the Undertakers, the Triple H's, the Shaqs. Like this is kind of upsetting to me. So
I agree.
those are our thoughts from the monumental Raw last night that featured everyone.
Yes.
I mean, everybody was on the show last night. Some big stuff happening. So I want to thank you again for coming back in and for always. I know you're always watching and commenting, and I appreciate that. And I just appreciate it very much. Thank you for being a part of the show today.
Definitely, anytime.
For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner Steve.
Until this man needs me again, you can't see me.